Hey Virgo, Riverica here, reporting for duty on a trigger. Thank you so much for shuffling states of emergency into adoption spirit magic with me and steering clear of danger. Heartily, we are grateful. In this session, we are exploring what may help us move forward, minding our business in the highest love and light this April 2023. But before that, some disclaimers. I am not a doctor, lawyer, therapist, and what I offer is no substitute for those services because I'm a fortune teller. And furthermore, what I share does not dictate your future, only your intentions and actions do. So please use your gift of discernment before deciding what to gather and take away. And of course, take only what resonates and blow like a kiss the rest to the universe for cosmic composting into beauty. This reading is intended for fun and games, for shits and giggles, for entertainment, for flexing our heart, mind, body, soul, spirit, emotions, and intuition. And at the least, I hope to cause harm to none, and at the most, I hope I may assist you on your healing journey. All that said, let me share our helpers. I have lit candles for Source, Mother Earth, Father Sky, the homeless, those that kick them out of their homes, the neighbors, the passers-by, even those working against our spiritual progression. Harmony, unity, and balance, Archangel Michael, our ancestors here in the highest love and light, and those who have crossed over to Father Sky by suicide, and the family and friends they left behind on Mother Earth, as well as the war-torn families, countries, nations, worlds, galaxies, universes. And we thank Source for helping us all adopt success, transmuting these violent cycles into love. Heartily, we are grateful. I also have my mini crystal ball, my wooden wand, and my wooden dagger wand to help lift our spirits and get to the heart of the matter without harming a soul. We also have a tuning fork to help clear the space in a moment, and this one's 528. And the note C, and I invite you to check out the metaphysical properties of that on your own, as we are all different psychosocial science experiments, and what resonates for you may be different for me, so I always enjoy inviting you to explore on your own to make this reading more meaningful for you. But off the top of my head, I would say the 528 helps your anahata chakra, your heart chakra, and that note C as well, but that note C also assists your muladhara chakra, your root chakra. So that is super fun. And I rolled the number 6 today with my wooden dice, pardon me, and picked the Living Altar deck, an Oracle and Radical spell deck for the Radical Witch. An Oracle and spell deck for the Radical Witch, pardon me. I'm sorry. Pardon my voice. And that deck is by Kiki Robinson and Ilvadroma Marzana Radzesuski. And you can find a Living Altar online. I'll leave some information in the description. And you may also find Kiki and Ilva on the socials like Instagram. And also they have a podcast called Altars Up Witches that you may enjoy. And you can, furthermore, there's even more. You can listen to the Romanistan podcast, the Halloween episodes, where Paulina Verminski and Jessica Reedy invited Kiki and Ilva over to share spooky stories. And Kiki and Ilva shared some spooky stories about how this Living Altar, the Living Altar deck of cards was made. So that was super fun, I found, and maybe you may enjoy it as well. One more thing to look forward to in April, later this month, the LA Times is hosting a podcast called Foretold, and Paulina Verminski, who founded the Romanistan podcast, will be featured in one of the first episodes. So that is super exciting, and I'm looking forward to taking that in, and maybe you are as well, and maybe it'll help us all move forward in the highest love and light this April 2023. So let's clear the space. Thank you for holding the intention of seeing only love, and only love we shall see. Here we go. Mind, body, speech, in perfect oneness. I send my heart along with the sound of the bell. My hairs awaken from forgetfulness and transcend all anxiety and sorrow. Om. Peace. Shanti. And I forgot to mention that number 6, it's a number of service, and it helps us differentiate between light and dark and the choices made between those two, and also helps defend against those times when people are so possessed by grief that they lash out by doing things like psychic invasions. And the number 6 also helps us maintain our integrity by maintaining our boundary, perhaps staying out of the way of people who are possessed by grief and lashing out. Maybe an example of helping us maintain our integrity by maintaining our boundaries. And so we don't fall into that cycle with them when they're lashing out at us, so we don't mirror the madness and lash out at them. You know what I mean? And one way to avoid that is steer clear of that. It's not that you are wishing ill on them, you're just managing your boundaries so nobody else gets hurt. And we could talk about that for hours, right? The number 6 also helps us release patterns that have kept us bound and embrace more joyful ways of life. So that is something to look forward to this April as well. And using that number 6 to help play through the losses. Like, these losses are so challenging. And how do you possibly play through that, right? They hurt so much. And so these are some of the ways that we may enjoy doing that. So I appreciate sharing this with you, and feel free to share some of your cards that you play to help through the loss and trauma, play through the loss and trauma in the comments if you would enjoy doing that. It's always fun to share cards and see what others are doing, and see if maybe that's something I could do too, or one of you could do as well. So I forgot to introduce the labradorite. And this gemstone, you can see how it shimmers. One word I associate with this is transformation. But again, I invite you to check out 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 or 27 different sources to see what resonates with you for any of these items that we're sharing, these tools, right? And I'm so excited to share this deck with you. It's one of the only Romani decks in circulation. So let's get to it, Virgo. See what may help us move through April, minding our business in the highest love and light. April 2023. You are a whole, full, loving, powerful spiritual being, and so am I. And we thank your source, spirit team, angels, galaxy guides, ancestors, saints, sages, gods, goddesses, universes here in the highest love and light, as well as mine. And we thank your source and my source for immediately shifting the situations into what they need to be, offering necessary insights, healings, acts of grace, protection. Heartily, we are grateful. And so it was, and so it was, and so it was, and so it was. Thank you for making this reading abundantly clear about how Virgo may move forward, minding their business in the highest love and light this April 2023. Heartily, we are grateful. We have water. I love it. I did a meditation before this session for you, Virgo, and water came up. I love that. Thank you so much, Source, and thank you so much for Living Altar. Kicking Elbow, what a beautiful card. You can see some red thread in there, and the water, and the yellow. It reminds me of the sun, the green a little bit. It reminds me of the heart chakra. And this blue is reminding me of the throat chakra and the Visuddha chakra. And there's two ways to live in this from the throat. It's like an entrance, a rebirth into the ether plane. And there's two ways to live, either seeking and sharing the truth or hiding and becoming secretive in your knowledge. And so we have choices to make. And that water is also reminding me, emotions are like water, and how to flow with them and honor them and be able to sit with them instead of bypassing them or trying to disengage or detach from them. Being able to see them for what they are, honoring them, and letting them flow through, streaming in grace to replace. So this living altar has 3 sections: the witch's wheel correspondence, the spell, and guiding messages. So I invite you to settle in, and you may find yourself researching different witches' wheels to create your own, to help integrate the witches' wheel correspondence even more for you. And you may find yourself coming back and repeating the spell for 5 or 6 or 7 different times to help integrate it and embody it. And you may come back to the guiding messages and journal about them to really make this your own. So with all that being said, let me share the witch's wheel correspondence. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 words. Here we go. Autumn, west, adult, midlife, abundance, generosity, sunset, disseminating moon, third quarter moon, expression, counsel, ancestor, and initiation. And that's making me think of the Leo reading you may enjoy taking in for the autumn aspect. An initiation is jumping out at me as well after everything we've been through the past couple years with what's been happening in the world, and then the orphans and adoptees. So many of you have been working on dismantling, and some of you have had to cut ties. You found yourself in a position where you've had to cut ties because the others aren't interested in the healing path. And so now there's this rebuilding and an initiation into that after all of you've done to honor what you've done. And that's what's coming to me with that initiation. And so congratulations, and thank you for being so strong to do what you have done for all these years, perhaps lifetimes even. And thank you for being so courageous and brave and authentic and willing to evolve and step out of the cycles and break the chains. I'm giving you big hugs for all that you've done and congratulating you for this initiation. Thank you so much. So the spell, here we go. I welcome in the counsel of what was, what is, and what will be to guide my initiation of becoming ancestor. I commit to my expression to serve as threshold which I will wisely navigate the shaping of my life in purposeful ways. That's super sweet. It's just really emphasizing, or that's not the word, highlighting the work that you have done and honoring that you can step into that fully. You're initiating, you're in, you've done it. And not to say there's not going to be more challenging work, but you have earned your spot to do what it is that you are here to do. And that is wonderful. And thank you so much for leading the way in such love and light. We are so grateful. So guiding messages. Water is the threshold. Its reflection is the portal to wisdom and initiatory spirit. It is time to tend to your feelings. Take inventory regarding your journey. Spend time in counsel with your altar. Yes, 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 yes. After everything you've done, for you to tend to your feelings and take an inventory, nobody else can do that for you in the way that you would do that for yourself. And it's such an honor for you to do that yourself. So I really appreciate this guiding message reminding us of that, how we can tend to our feelings and take inventory, and how that is something that we can do in a way that no one else can do for us. And also, it's occurring to me as I was reading those guiding messages, the different water treatments that we take in a day, from drinking the 8 glasses of water a day or whatever is appropriate for your body type, to walking by the ocean, or taking a dip in the ocean, or taking Epsom salt baths, or swimming in the pool, listening to water meditation music. There's so many different ways that we love to use that water. Scrying, some of you may be scrying, and it's just a super sweet element. I mean, they're all beautiful. I'm also thinking blessing your water, reiki your water. Some people do crystal waters. Just make sure you're not using I think the dark stones, the onyx. Quadruple check, because there's a few stones you do not want to put into water, and I think it's the dark stones, the onyx perhaps. But I've seen rose quartz and amethyst in the water to help charge it. But again, quadruple check for yourself to make sure you're proceeding in a safe fashion. So what a beautiful reading, Virgo. Thank you so much for helping breathe life into adoption spirit magic. Heartily, we are grateful. Until next time, ciao for now. I love you all.